High spots and cheap pops, ladies and gentlemen, it is me, the SSV, Silicon Valley, and I'm with my main man, Vladi. And ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting over the Elimination Chamber. It happened. Sami Zayn defeated by Roman Reigns in just an epic battle. One of the hottest crowds, if not the hottest crowd I personally have ever seen in wrestling history, certainly since the Stone Cold Steve Austin days. That was a stone cold pop when he came out and helped Mankind beat The Rock for the title for the first time. That's what but it was all night, and it was sustained for this match. It started the night before, and last night, Vladi Dottie, you said it last week, it was going to be an all-time great crowd, and boy, did they have not only live up, but in my estimation, exceeded your expectations. Your reaction to this match, everything that went down with it, and the crowd. Take it away, my man.
Yeah. As we discussed, the crowd was a great player in this match and in the event. Even, it was sort of foreshadowed the night before, but with SmackDown, where Sami basically couldn't even say something for about, 5 minutes, if you will. And at one point, their live broadcast got hijacked by an FU Roman chant. And they basically almost had to go to black until Sami started speaking, and then they lightened up a little bit. So their emotions were there. The hometown hero was going against the tribal chief there the next night. Sami had them pumped and believing that anything is possible, basically, and that he was going to win it with Quebec. And as we went to the next night and actually saw this main event, I mean, there was such a big fight feel to this. And keep in mind, a big fight feel with Sami Zayn. I mean, keep in mind with him, Zayn specifically, one of my first, I believe it was my first NXT event, was where Kevin Owens turned on him as Sami Zayn won the world title from Neville, a.k.a. Pac, right? And that was my first impression of Sami Zayn. And here we are, fast forward all these years later in 2023. We're in his hometown, and he's going against the most impressive champion, which basically is this is becoming the Roman Reigns era in WWE. And he has a chance to go and defeat this guy in his hometown. And this place was rabid. It was explosive. It was just, I loved the shots of the crowd, because you saw everything from children to the elderly that were there going crazy and feeling it for Sami. And I'm biased at this point. I don't know if there's a better crowd for wrestling than Montreal. And I say this as a guy from the tri-state area here in the Northeast. Shame on me, perhaps, but it pales in these other crowds that I've seen in Boston, New York, Chicago, Philly. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that, where the beginning of that match, it took and they milked it for 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes before they even had contact with each other. And they just rode that wave and let that energy build in there. It was beautiful. And and then finally when the match started, one of the things I really admired about Roman's heel work was just the subtleties of him just walking around, acting as if he owned it. Then the crowd would get louder, and as they would personally turn on him, you could see him his face changing, and you actually felt Roman was outnumbered for once, and he was the underdog, and he wasn't the big dog; he was the underdog almost at points. And then you'd see the arrogance kick back in. He's becoming so masterful the way he plays everything at this point. And when he started to needle Sammy's wife a bit, he didn't go overboard, maybe a Rick Rude or a Flair even, but he was just basically letting her know letting her know, that he knew that she was there, acknowledging her, and just basically at one point, even when Sami was in front of her, and beating up Sami in front of her. He didn't overstep it, but he just included her. And now everybody else is feeling that. And it's an absolute thing of it. It was just great. It was a thing of beauty, that match. And as they progressed, of course, you're just waiting for the shenanigans to happen. You knew something screwy was going to happen. So first, surprise, Jimmy Uso is allowed in Montreal. I don't know what happened. I guess the statute of limitations sort of might have dissipated.
There were reports that he was cleared earlier in the week, so you knew that the Usos were going to be part of this, but we already knew that going in there. Obviously, Jay was the one most people were thinking was going to happen. So Jimmy comes out.
Yeah.
Beats the living when Sami has the match won with the first ref down. Jimmy beats the living shit out of him. Sets it all up.
Right.
New ref comes in. Sami kicks out.
Yep.
And then Sami then winds up having a comeback, takes out Jimmy with a haluva kick to the outside. And then another referee double down. And a lot of great, fantastic false finishes toward the end here with both referees going down. And then take it from there. You have Roman is about to take care of business with Sami. He gains an advantage. And he goes and gets a chair. And then lo and behold, the guy who everybody, and we were one of the first ones, but everybody else saying Jay was going to turn. And whoa, took a complete opposite way. Did that go, Vladi Daddy? Your reaction to when Jay Uso entered the match and was defiant to his tribal chief. Didn't seem like there was a lot of acknowledging happening.
No, it wasn't. And again, Jay stood his ground once again. He didn't break character, didn't crumble in front of Roman. Roman basically gave Jay the same decision he gave Sami. Go hit your friend with the chair. Prove it to me. And Jay hesitated.
Same way, too. It was the exact same way. He took the chair, the same motion, same wrong.
Turned his back. Yeah. Turned his back as well. And you're like, oh, and I, like when he turned his back, I'm like, oh, come on, Roman. I'm like, you can't be that that thick in terms of having so much trust. And I kind of like the fact that he just didn't do it. And then Roman gets fired up, basically pie faces him disrespectfully.
He did to Sami, by the way.
Yep. And then here it's getting heated between the two of them. And before they can actually come to blows, Sami accidentally hits Jay. I think he hit him with a spear, right?
Yeah, but that's the other thing. Yeah. I didn't love that because Jay Uso was laid out from that spear for the rest of the night. Whereas Jimmy took a haluva
Jimmy got his ass kicked.
And Jimmy got his ass kicked and was back toward the end. So that was a little weird if I wanted to nitpick. But Jimmy goes down.
Yeah.
Roman then gets the chair and goes medieval on Sami Zayn's rear end.
Yep.
Gets the heartbreaking pin to a shocked and just absolutely deflated Montreal crowd.
Yep.
Then the beatdown continues. And this is where I got to give Triple H credit, because if you were going to have Sami Zayn lose this match to send the crowd home where it's not a complete horseshit, where they're chanting bullshit at the end of the night, they really needed to make this last segment uplifting as much as possible. They start a beat down of Sami Zayn with Jimmy Uso and Roman. And who comes out? Of course, Montreal's other son of WWE, Kevin Owens, comes out, does the big save for Sami Zayn, comes in stunning everybody in sight, including the special counsel of the tribal chief, who right when Kevin was about to go medieval on Roman, Paul Heyman comes out with just flailing arms and a very pear-shaped man. His body grew in a very odd shape.
Joel Gert. Yeah, it was like as if he picked up Joel Gertner's fighting style from ECW.
Yes. And I tell you what, he sold the heck out of that stunner that Owens gave him now. He only dropped down to a knee, but the way he snapped back, bravo. He still knows how to take a bump when he needs to. Got to give him his just due. And then Kevin sidesteps, allows Sami to put Roman Reigns down for pretty much the rest of the night. And then a nice, beautiful moment. I kind of wanted Sami and Kevin to get back together there, which has been a whole other part of the story that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, probably because they've turned on each other so much. But they had that moment where they were like, okay. And then you saw regret that Sami now, okay, I just lost my friend. And then here are the people of Montreal. They have my back, even through this really dark moment. And everything. And it was a good way Triple H was able to, and he's taken a couple risks lately and trusted his talent to do it. He's taken a couple risks that could have gone bad, trusting the talent to make the situation work. He did it with Sami Zayn and Cody because everyone's fearing that the crowd's going to turn on Cody. He trusted them to do it last week. They nailed it, and they did it last night. So the talent has executed Triple H's plans or whoever's plans perfectly. I think Michael Hayes has been given a lot of credit for this main event. It was great. It was great. And now you can see the stories beyond WrestleMania starting to form, particularly within the bloodline.
And thank you so much for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. This is Silicon Steve Valley, and for Vladi Dottie, we want to thank you so much, and hit the subscribe button. Here endeth the lesson.